Hey everybody, back for another episode. So we're back on the camper today, and let's see what we can get done.
No, you're not bringing home another piece of junk.
Alright, here's a little marketplace find I picked up last night. I realized that I got quite a few angled cuts on this thing, on the plywood, and then on these boards up here, like this guy. It's kind of an odd shape. And then this other one under here has got an angle cut. So I was going to need a table saw. So I picked this thing up for 75 bucks. Man, this thing is heavy. I didn't think I was going to be able to get it out of the van myself. But we'll use it on this. I got some stair treads I got to cut from my basement, and then we'll probably just resell it again, because it's one of those things that just takes up a lot of floor space, and I'm not the consummate woodworker, so it'd probably just hang around here forever getting junk piled on it. But for 75 bucks, I think it's a good deal to use it while we need it. So anyway, let me get the ladder, get the tools, get the tarp off the camper. We got a nice day today. We got like 65 degrees and a little cloudy today, no chance of rain, so I think we can get quite a bit done here. Alright, so when I got home last night, what I did is I shoved a screwdriver in there to give me some gap here, and I cut all those screws, and I just soaked that joint with this rust reformer. It's pretty good stuff. I've used it quite a bit. So I gotta get some longer screws to screw this back down, and what I want to do is wire brush all this steel off. I'm gonna have to cut that wood back today and get some paint on there, and then start putting some of this wood back in. Maybe we'll start with this piece up here, get that piece in there on both sides, and get this other unistrut in the front there, and depending on time, start rebuilding some of those wood walls that are back in the garage. Also, I noticed, when they painted this thing, they kind of roller painted it, but they didn't get the top of this cab very good. It's just like coming off. So I think we're just gonna sand it down and get some spray can automotive paint, some white, and respray that before we put the new plywood on there. But what I need to do is go make a list of wood and screws and go over to Lowe's and spend a bunch of money. So that's what we're gonna do first. Okay, so this worked about like I wanted it to. Thankfully I was able to get back to some good wood and cut this section out, and behind it the steel all looks really good. So I'm just going to cut another piece of shape of that and screw it to here, and I think we'll put some kind of steel backing strip on that. I've got my wires. Let's do something about that. Yeah, I just got the insulation. I didn't get the wires, so I guess I'll run some heat shrink down over that. Yeah, I saw that. Okay, so next order of business. Let's go ahead and I want to get some screws in up there, and I think I'm going to go ahead and try and get this other piece of unistrut welded in there. So let's go with that. All right, that is much better. So now we got some structure up there. We got a little bit of OSB up there, so if I would ever need to get on that roof, I'd feel comfortable I could shimmy across that and not come crashing through it on that section anyway. So what we're going to do now is I dug around the cabinet. I got like 3 cans of pour 15. I'm going to grind. I need to grind these wells a little bit and wire brush the rest of this off, and then I'm going to take that pour 15 and we're going to paint all this. I'm going to pick up all my screws. I don't want one in my tire. But yeah, coming along good. I'm really happy with it. So, I don't know what time it is. I might grab some lunch first and then do that. So, okay, that's what we got going next. All right, there we go. I got all the steel cleaned off. Got the pour 15 out and painted everything up, and I think it looks mighty spiffy. I like it. So, I'll let that dry. And unfortunately, I don't have that Phylon I need, or I could start piecing this thing back together. But what I do have is I went and bought the wood and bought that table saw. So I think tomorrow after church, what we're going to do is just start cutting the wood and getting I'd like to get that front wall built, get the sections of it built so it's ready to go back on there when all my supplies come in. So that's what we'll do. Anyway, good progress for today, I think. So let's pick this back up tomorrow. Okay, so yesterday we got the steel all painted, and that's pretty much all done over there. So today I want to focus on getting these, getting this front wall rebuilt. So as you can see, a lot of this is in pretty good shape. Now we are going to get rid of this window, so we're going to be putting some studs in there. But these sides and down here is where we're in kind of bad shape. And so we're just going to have to recreate that. And I noticed that this is definitely an angled cut. It's wider on this side than it is on that side. So we're going to have to measure that, and that's what the old table saw is for. So I think what I'm going to start by doing, I want to get all these old curtain rod brackets out, and I think we'll just do one piece at a time. Maybe we'll start with this piece looks pretty good, but these ends definitely are not good, so maybe we'll start with those. I'm gonna have to cut these staples to get this out of here, and cut a new piece, and then we'll glue it in there. There's enough here that I can kind of see where this went. So when this splintered, you can see where that went right there. So we know that goes together there. So let's do the ends first, and then we'll figure out how to make this cut, and we'll get this piece on here. We got to get this out of here. Oh, that's easy. And we got to put some more supports there, and then we'll flip it over and we'll that's not good. I got some more Luan. We'll cut a new piece for that. Okay, back in just a minute. All right, so I got this piece down here done, and then the last couple inches of this board was kind of rotten, so I just zipped it off, and it's fine there. But we just stubbed a little piece on there. But I'm gonna go ahead and put some studs in here now to get rid of this window. So like this one and this one are 11 inches apart. I don't know why, but for sake of consistency, I guess we're gonna go 11 inches apart. So I got 11, 22, 33, and 44, and this just happens to be 55, so I guess that's where it needs to be to fill that window opening. So let me get those guys cut, and we'll get those glued and screwed, and then we'll take a look at fixing this end. And once we get that, we'll get this bottom piece figured out. I gotta put a couple of blocks down here, and we'll get that done, then we can flip it over. But let's get these inner studs done first. Okay. What do we got going here? Before we put the glue on it. Look, the battery's starting to die. Turn that a little bit. Better. 5 batteries and they're all dead because I didn't put them in the charger. Alright, I have to pause. Let my batteries charge. Okay, we got this side done. So, let's flip this dude over and see what we gotta do the other side. I gotta get some more 2x2s too. I thought I bought enough and I sure didn't. So, I have to make another lumber run. So, let's see what we got here. Okay, so the way they had this, they had the pylon here glued to some Luan or some thin veneer. These little pieces here I need to go back and reattach. But then up here they had this piece of, I think that's aluminum. Yeah, and that piece of aluminum went across there and it had these little blocks here. And that was this piece here. And they, and then in here was just kind of a void. They had the pylon went up around here, and I think this was because of the wiring for the clearance lights weren't there. So I don't know if I'm gonna put them clearance lights back on or not. I don't know if you have to have them. But there was a little piece of little strip of Luan under there too. So let's go ahead and pull this off. Let's go ahead and cut this piece of Luan, get it glued on there and screwed on there. And I might just get out my staple gun and staple that on there. You know, liquid nail it and then staple it. And then we'll place this under here and I need to kind of figure out what's the order of how this all goes together. I think that piece is going to have to be constructed onto this piece and then all put up there as one piece, and then this whole section down here is put on as another separate piece, is what I'm thinking. Alright, well, let me get this stripped down and we'll see what we got here. Okay, next cut. This is the over cab section, so we're going to get this, I just kind of lined the old one up on here, clamped it and marked it. So we're going to get this piece cut, and then we're going to get the piece that goes in front of it cut. It's got an angle cut on it. And then we're going to get these side pieces cut. And I did get this piece cut. So, this had quite the angle on it. See there, it went from 1.5 inches down to 7/8. So, that'll work for that piece. Now I gotta get some 2x2s tomorrow and we'll get that, this section made. So, let me get this cut and we'll take a look at her. Alright, that was interesting. So we got this piece all done. It's looking good, it's ready to go, and I took the next piece and put it up to there just to kind of see how they fit together, and I suddenly realized I put this piece on upside down after I had cut that angle on it. So luckily the liquid nail wasn't all the way dry. I was able to get it apart and flip it around. So, but yeah, that was fun. So next thing we need to do is make this piece, and I need some 2x2s, and I need to cut the angle on this piece. So I don't have any more 2x2s. I think I'm just going to go ahead and cut the angle on that piece. I'm trying to figure out exactly how this, it looks like this was longer. We screwed in that way and then it stapled to there. So I'm assuming this was as long as this. It's kind of hard to figure out when it's all rotted away. So yeah, that should go like that. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to make a run for any more wood today or not. I'm getting kind of tired, so I'm thinking I might have this head cold for a couple days. I think I might just go ahead and get that cut. And I might go ahead and get one of these sheets of plywood cut. And then call it a day. And we'll pick up some 2x2s tomorrow. All right, let's get that cut, see what we got, and we'll go from there. Okay, that piece is cut. I'll tell you what, 3/4 inch plywood is freaking heavy. I forgot how heavy it was. So I got the other one out there. Now we need to cut this rotten piece. This is the front of that floor because the floor is a little bit longer than a little bit longer than 4 feet. So let's get that piece cut. Let's see if we can get these. I'm hoping we can get these side pieces out of there too. I think there's enough in that whole sheet to get these cut. So let's take a look. Okay, got all my pieces cut. There's my side piece for the passenger side. There's my patch-in side piece for the driver's side. Here's my front piece with the angle on it. That came out good. So all this is ready to go on. And I got about much plywood left over in case I run into something. So I'm gonna clean up my mess and call it a day. And tomorrow night, I'll get home from work. I'm gonna go pick up some more 2x2s, and we're going to rebuild that thing. And then these other ones with the angle on it, the channel on it, these are the ones that bolt to the channel so that you got something to staple the top to. So that's what that's for. So I gotta get some of those too. Not sure what to do about this. So this is like, I mean, it's wood. It's like a veneer, but it's really flexible. And this is not. So they kind of use that, you know, they stable it to there and then they folded it around, and then that's what they would use to kind of make those curves to glue the file onto, like on this piece over here. But I have no idea where to get something like that. It's pretty rotten. I thought about just getting a sheet of, what do they call it, FRP, and use it and glue the file onto that, so you can get a sheet of smooth FRP for about 25 bucks. That, or using somewhere around here I had a roll of roof flashing. That might work too. Oh, I gotta kind of figure that out. I'll have to do a little YouTube research and see what other people are using. So but we're getting there. All right, I'm gonna clean up. That's it for tonight. We'll pick this up tomorrow. Okay, so we picked up some more lumber today, and here's what we're gonna build now. This one is pretty easy. I got this angle piece cut yesterday, and I'm gonna cut a piece for this. So basically all I do is need these two pieces on the end, 2 pieces in the middle. So piece of cake on this one. Let's go ahead and get it put together and see what it looks like. Okay, there we go. So we got that piece made. Just need to trim a little bit here with the jigsaw once the liquid nail dries. I'll tell you something that is hard to find right now: straight retail lumber. I went through I needed 6 of these 2x2s, and I don't know how many I pulled out these out of the stack that were just looked like noodles. They were so crooked, and it took forever to find 6 straight ones. But so we're gonna let that dry, and that is the other piece of the front that we needed to make. So we're done making the pieces for the front. And actually I'm off tomorrow, so I'm gonna pick this back up in the morning. We're gonna get a bunch more stuff done tomorrow. We'll check out. And the Phylon arrived, yippee. So I was worried I was gonna have to wait till the end of the week to start doing any of that, but it looks like it's gonna go quicker than I thought. So okay, we'll pick this back up in the morning. Good morning, everybody. So good day today. Got a day off work, and it's actually nice out here. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's 60 something degrees and sunny. Gonna be close to 80 today. So actually got a good week to work on this thing. So let's see where we're gonna go with this. So I've been really killing it on this thing because we're in November here, and the weather's gonna turn before long, and I need to get this cab done and sealed up before that happens. You know, I can do the motor swap when it's colder, but we're definitely fighting Mother Nature here. Plus, the time has changed, so when I get home from work, I've lost an hour of daylight. So what I want to do first is I need to get the floor in. So we got the Phylon, we got the wood, I got all the supplies to do it. But as far as the order of how it has to go, so these side panels have to go in first that I took out. So I've got to get that glued to, get the Phylon glued to that. Test fit first, get the Phylon glued to that, and get that in. But to do that, I need to change this gasket, which I got a new foam gasket to go in there. I may have to go get me a stapler like this. The stapler I got, I don't think is gonna work. I guess I could just glue it. But up here on the cab, you can see, so they had some gasket around here, and when they roll painted the cab, it looks like they just blew some kind of spray bomb paint up in here and didn't do a very good job because it's all coming out. So before I put the floor up here, I need to sand this down, and I picked up a can of turbo Rust-Oleum, and we're just gonna sand this down. Maybe, I don't even know if I'm gonna shoot any primer on it. Just scuff it up good, cleaned up, put some grease wax remover on it, tape this off, and spray this white up here. If it's a little off color white, big deal. We'll get that done. But so I need that done. I need to test fit the floor. I need the Phylon glued on the floor. I need this piece over here that I cut out put in. So there's a lot of little things I need to do to prep to get that floor in, because I gotta have the floor in before I can take these bracings off, because the floor is the support for all of this. So the floor has to go in first. And yeah, so there's definitely steps of how it has to go. So that's what I'm going to focus on. But before I do that, it is just a friggin' mess in here. I mean, I got junk everywhere. I got junk thrown back there. I'm going to do a clean out on this thing this morning, take an hour or so. And I want to get this old carpet out of here, and just, it's a bad habit of mine that I create a hostile work environment to where I'm just falling over stuff and stepping on screws, and so we're going to do a major cleanup. So I'm not going to show that. Let me get this all cleaned up, take an hour or so, and we'll take a look at what we got, and then we're going to figure out where to go with this. Okay. All right, much better. We got all kinds of junk out of here. everything I knew I wasn't going to be reusing went in the trash. And swept all this up, got the carpet up. Still got a little carpet scraps I need to get up. Was trying to get the carpet off the bottom of the seat rotators, and whoever put this thing together at the factory, got to thank them for using, I guess, extra strength liquid nail to glue that carpet on there. So probably have to grind that stuff off. But anyway, this is a much nicer starting point and place to work. And I was wondering where my cabin battery was. Well, they had a piece of carpet glued and stapled down to this. But underneath this, there's my cabin battery, which I gotta make a new door for this. It's kind of rotten, but it's interesting that they made to where you could not get to that battery without destroying that carpet. So we're gonna do that a little bit differently, I believe. Okay, so next thing I want to do is I'm gonna drag my electric DA out here, and we're just gonna knock this nasty paint off all the way around this thing, just down to the drip rail. And I'm gonna tape around this drip rail and probably put some plastic in there somewhere, and we're just gonna fog some Rust-Oleum turbo can on here and call it good, because that's got to be much better than this. So all right, let me get that done, and we'll take a look. All right, we can see how good that paint was on there. I blew across that with a DA in about 15 minutes and got it knocked off and down to a rough surface. So I'm just gonna wipe this down. We're gonna tape this off, and I'm gonna shoot it with that Rust-Oleum. I mean, I could probably roller paint it, but I already bought the can. We'll do it with that, and I can tape this off and do it pretty quick. And then while this is drying, we're gonna start looking at these side panels and figuring out what we're gonna do with those. Once I pull all these strips out, I'm gonna try to save a lot of these, because these things are like 50 bucks a piece, and they're aluminum, so they're not tore up. They just got gobs and gobs of paint and caulk on them. So I'm hoping with a heavy wire brush and a few hours work, we can clean them up. I had to buy 2 new ones that I kind of tore up, but I'm gonna try to save these. Okay, let's get that taped up and get some color on. Okay, so everything about how we're doing this is wrong. We're painting outside. It's a little breezy out here. We just sanded, we didn't prime anything. I didn't have any tack rags, so I watered up some masking tape and wiped it down, but I did wipe it down with some wax and grease remover. So we're just gonna do it and see what it looks like. I've never used this stuff, but I've seen it enough on YouTube, and let's take a look at what we're done. Oh, there's a hard can to shake up. I wonder if I should have just got the small can. Whew. Throw some paint out there right now. Whoa. Gotta move fast. Wow. Man, that stuff runs quick. That stuff is something else. Comes flying out of there. Let's take a look. I'm gonna let that dry about 20 minutes and give it another coat. It's white. And it's all right. Definitely looks better than what it did. So we'll let that dry. We'll get another coat on that, and then I think it's time for a lunch break. And while we're lunch breaking, when we're done lunch breaking, we're gonna start on these side panels. All right. Well, it's pretty good. And in fact, look how close it is to the other color they used. They must have roller painted this thing with Rust-Oleum. So yeah, and I can live with that. Okay, I'm gonna do a lunch break, let that dry, and then we're gonna get on these side panels, see what we can get done on them today. Okay, so we did a test fit on this piece of wood, and it looks real good. And so I should have a 3/4 plus a little bit of gap up here to put file on this and get it in this gap, and that looks good. So that will screw down to that once we get that in there. And so I'm liking that. That's looking good. And we'll put I got some rubber gasket we're gonna put on top of there. Okay, on this other side. So that's pretty good. I need to pull it back out and glue the file on it. This side, I guess I measured it wrong. I made it too short at the top. So I'm about to do some trimming on this piece and yeah, do a little bit of cutting on this to get this one to work right. But so that one, we're going to glue the file on and put pressure on it overnight to help the glue hold. Now this one I can't take out. I got to glue on while it's vertical. So I don't think I'm going to use the contact cement on this side. I think I'm going to use, I got some super duper construction adhesive. I think we're going to put it on there and put the file on there, take a rolling pin, roll it real good, and then with it being such a small piece and having the channel here, and we're going to caulk it here, we're going to hope for the best that it stays on there. So all right, that's what we're doing. Let me get this piece to fit a little bit better, and I'm going to go ahead and get it screwed on, and then what? And then we'll get some stuff glued on that other one. Okay, we got that piece all patched in. It's looking pretty good. So I opened up this roll of Phylon. I'll tell you what, this stuff is expensive. If you can avoid buying it, avoid it if you're doing an RV. So this is 10 feet by 102 inches. 8.5 by 10, $450 for that piece. It's like crazy expensive. But, you know, I gotta match what's on there. I thought about just trying to use like regular old commercial grade FRP from Lowe's or whatever, but it doesn't, it's thicker and it doesn't bend like this, so I don't think that would work. I probably could use it on the bottom. That's even a thought, to do that rather than not have to buy another piece, because I don't think this is enough. I got these two pieces to cut out. I got these two pieces to cut out. I got the bottom to cut out. And then I've got this piece and I've got that piece. So, but I don't really want to get into having a bunch of different colors either. That wouldn't look that great either. So I may snip off a piece of this, take it over to Lowe's and look at their smooth FRP and just see how close the color is. and end up doing that on the bottom, but we'll see. For now, anyway, we got to get these cut out. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to get these cut out. We're going to get that piece glued on the other side, and we're going to get this piece glued on using contact cement, and we're going to put some weight on it. Probably put a piece of plywood or something and put some bricks on it tonight, and just let that sit and set up overnight, and then tomorrow we can put that piece on. So let me just cut this with 10 snips. I'm gonna go get my big snips and I'm gonna cut these out. Okay, so that crazy looking contraption, we got that one on. I used Loctite PL8X construction adhesive. It's like liquid nail, but it's a lot thicker. So we're gonna see how that works. But this stuff had a bow to it from being in that tube, and it was wanting to pull away, so I put a screw at the bottom and a screw at the top, where I'll just have to put a little dab of caulk on them so you don't see them screw holes, and then just double over some cardboard and wedge it in here to hold it flat until that dries. But I think that's going to be fine. And then this has actually got a peel on coating on the front of it. You peel off when you're done, so that'll be nice and white. Won't be all marked up like that. Okay, so I want to go ahead and get the adhesive on the other piece, and let's get that glued down tonight, and then we'll call it quits for tonight. Been a long day. Got a lot done, I heard today. All right, let's see what we got. I'll tell you what, the mess in this garage is just beyond human comprehension. It's never been this bad. Oh, poor Chevy's got a flat tire. I'll take care of that later. Okay, so I want to get this piece glued on before we call it a day. What time is it? It's 3 o'clock. All right. This here contact cement is like the most killer contact cement you can get. It's not cheap. I think it's like 80 bucks for a gallon. But man, when this stuff is on, it is on. So I'm gonna roll it on. I'll have to get some more too. I probably got enough to do a few panels. Okay, I'm gonna roll it on there. I'll tell you, I know this video is going long, so I'm gonna roll it on there. I'm gonna roll it on back there. I'm gonna do 2 coats. I'm gonna let it get tacky. Then we're gonna put that on there, and we're gonna weight it down with something. I got steel around here. I got bricks around here. We'll weight it down with some heavy stuff. So I might put another piece of plywood on top of it, so I'm not putting heavy stuff on the file line directly. So let's come back and take a look when I've got that ready to go, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so yeah, I kind of messed over here a little bit when I laid this down, but that's all right. This piece goes back up under the floor. You're not going to see that. Yeah, we're fine. Tell you what, you let that stuff dry like it says, and then stick it together. It is together. It is not coming back apart. That's small. Let's see what else I got. Yeah, might work. That's a little too short. Okay. So let's just this way. Wish I had some deeper clamps, but I don't. I got what I got. I don't think there's going to be any problem with this thing apart. Just to make sure. I'm going to put some weight on it. Now, I got a pretty good feeling that is going to be stuck when we come get it tomorrow. Okay, so we got quite a bit done, and I think we're going to end this video here. Gracie the camper is coming along. So as far as the message this week, I wanted to relay that I don't know if anybody out there is watching The Chosen. It's a show about the life of Christ and his apostles on I think Angel Studios produced it, and I'm not sure the guy's name that wrote it, but it's on Netflix and it's on Amazon. But what just my wife and I tried to watch it about a year ago, and the accents that they use is so thick it was hard to understand what they were saying, even though they're speaking English. But somebody suggested watch it with the subtitles on. That's what we did, and it's just a real blessing to watch this show, especially together with Alicia. So we have been riveted to it. We blew through season 1 the other night, and now we're binge watching season 2. So just an awesome show, and I encourage everybody out there to take some time and watch that. So this week, let's make sure we are praying for what's going on in the Middle East, whether not rather than taking sides, saying that Israel is everything that they're doing is right, or what's going on with the Palestinians. I'm sure everybody has their own opinion, but these are all people, and these are all we need to be in prayer for what's going on over there and for our leaders. So let's have a quick word of prayer and we'll be done. Father, we just I thank you for today. I thank you for a nice day off and being able to work on the camper here, and just that Alicia and I are getting to enjoy this project together. And we I just lift up all the viewers out there that encourage any of them to watch this program, The Chosen, that you would bless them through that. And we just ask for that we would be deeply in prayer every day for what's going on in the Middle East, and for the people on both sides over there, for the leaders over there, for our leaders over here, that your will be followed in resolving this situation. We ask this in the name of your precious son, Jesus. All right, hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll pick it up on the next one.